Alright guys, so in this video we're checking out the Foxeer Toothless 2 Nano camera. Not exactly sure what the difference is between the Toothless and the Toothless 2. I believe the micro version of this one I reviewed about a month or two ago didn't have the 2 after it, and I don't know what really the difference is because the specs all look about the same. Of course now we have a nano size camera here, and I have actually two different colors. This is the same version. This is the one with the 2.1 millimeter starlight lens and comes in black and this fluorescent green. Don't believe any other colors are available. There is a standard version that's not starlight that has a wider angle lens. I think it's got a 1.8 millimeter lens on it. So that one has a wider field of view, but because it has a different lens, the aperture is smaller, so it doesn't have the starlight function. Basically, with a smaller aperture, it doesn't let as much light in, so you can't do any like low light, or the low light nighttime footage doesn't look as good as on the starlight version. So if you want to get better low light performance, you're going to have to give up a little bit of field of view. I think the difference isn't too huge. I think it's like 170 versus 165 degrees field of view. I believe that's the difference. Check the specs in the links below if you want to know the exact difference in field of view. In terms of field of view of this particular lens, which was the only ones I flew, didn't have any I didn't have any issues with the field of view. I thought it was fine. There's a certain range of field of view. If it's you know, either too wide or too narrow, I'll notice it. But I have a pretty wide range where I'm pretty happy with the field of view, and this one is totally fine. I think it's a little bit narrower than what's on the Baby Ratel, and I don't have the Phoenix 2 Nano yet. So basically, the three cameras, the Baby Ratel and the Toothless Nano and the Phoenix 2 Nano, are all kind of in the nano size of these sort of next generation CMOS sensors. I think they all have the half-inch sensor now. So this one has the same half-inch sensor as the Baby Ratel and Ratel in a nano size package. So it's a half-inch sensor, 1200 TV lines, PAL and TSC switchable, 16 and 69 and 4.3 switchable. So it's got all the same features, and the color reproduction's really close. It's pretty spot on. This is almost an exact copy of what the Ratel image looks like. So if you're not sure if you want to get this camera or the Ratel or the Baby Ratel, I would just go with whichever was cheaper. The Ratel's a little bit longer in the nose with the lens than this one here. So if you're looking for something a little bit narrow, like shorter, this one would probably be your choice. You can check out that video if you want to see the specs on that one and the weight. So let me just show you the weight of this one. I don't have the Phoenix 2 Nano yet. That's coming, but the Phoenix 2 Micro, that image was pretty good. It's kind of a cross between the Ratel and the Micro Eagle. So, but I think that between the three, the Toothless and the Ratel are probably the better image in my opinion. Anyway, so this is the way the camera with the wire on here. You can see that the wire, the way they've done the wire now is you can direct solder it to these little pads on the PCB, and it looks like they've already done that for you and put some glue there. But if you want to cut these off and use your own wire, you can. So you can do this to save more weight and just direct solder to your flight controller, for example. If you don't want to use the plugs, you can save a little bit of weight. But this is with the plugs and everything, and it's like 5 grams. I believe if you go to the website, they'll tell you what the weight is without the wire. I think it's less. So in the box you get a nano to micro adapter. If you want to use that in a micro frame, it's your joystick to control your OSD, plugs in right there. And so you get some screws and some washers and stuff for mounting to various frames. And you also get a sticker and the instructions as well. Anyway, so it's going to show you around the camera here and the lens. And it's all glued in, so I can't show you the sensor unless they destroy the camera. So some of you guys are going to ask me that. That's the reason why. The screws, I think, are below this little sticker plastic piece in the back. But you know, I think that between this one, the field of view on this, the Nano version versus the Micro version, I thought the field of view on the Micro version was way too wide for my taste. It's like almost 180 degrees. This one's actually much better. It's obviously narrower than the 1.8 millimeter lens, but this one is pretty good, and I had no trouble flying it. and obviously for micros and stuff, going with the nanos is probably preferable over a micro size. I think micros are going to be, the micro ones are like 2 or 3 grams more at a minimum. And again, as I said, the image is pretty close to the way the Ratel looks like. You can go and look at the baby Ratel video. I'll link that down in the description. You can check that out and compare for yourself and compare it to some of the other cameras like the Phoenix 2, for example. I think if you're looking for a analog camera with a half-inch sensor, it's going to be the Ratel, baby Ratel, the Toothless 2 Nano, or the Phoenix 2 series, the micro and the nano. I think those are the only ones I think currently are in the half-inch sensor range. And with the larger sensor, you get better color reproduction, a better image overall, and I think those look better. And they also have a lot of features in terms of like switching to different modes and that kind of stuff. The 16:9 and the PAL NTSA switchable. Okay, so I got the camera turned on here. I just want to show you the field of view. The camera is currently in the 16:9 mode right now, so you can kind of see where the bottom of the table is here, the little graph, and then at the top you can see the lights. So I'm going to put the lights there, sort of the top of the field of view, and then on the left side I see the door there, and on the right side I see the bookcase. And go ahead and switch the field of view. So you just go into your settings here, and it's under video settings. No, sorry, it's under special setting, and it's under video scale. I'll switch that to 4:3, and the camera will reboot. So I'll be in 4:3 mode. You can see we got a much wider field of view. It's a little bit wider horizontally, but much wider vertically. So if you have a goggle that's got a 4:3 screen, this is probably what you're going to want to fly. You're going to get the most field of view. And then if because the 16:9 field of view gets basically the bottom and the top cut off to get you that 16:9 aspect ratio. Okay, so in terms of the rest of your settings here, it's pretty standard stuff for your Foxeer camera. I'm not going to go through all this here, day night. I flew everything completely stock. I didn't change any of the settings. Under image enhancer, everything is on auto. So if you feel like the image is too sharp, or you want more contrast, whatever, you can obviously go in here and adjust all of these to your taste. But all of the sample footage is with the factory settings. I didn't change anything. Okay, so I'm going to show you my standard park flight footage for this camera at the end of this video, as well as some other clips that I flew. And we'll also link in the description some basically sunny, cloudy, and nighttime footage that's recorded in 60 frames per second on the PowerPlay DVR here. So that's a little bit higher quality than on the Diamond DVR or the Diamond VTX that recorded the flights on.